In this video, we're going to go through everything you need to know about the BMW MINI OEM diagnostic tool. So before you can start to use your dealer diagnostic tool, you're going to need some basics first. First of all is that AOS registration portal. This gives ultimate access to all your applications that you require for both BMW, MINI and Rolls-Royce. The only real thing you need to remember is you must be VAT registered. It's also advised that you don't use any of the BMW MINI or Rolls-Royce logos throughout your website or marketing material. Once you've done this simple sign-on stage, this will give you full facility of the applications of parts, lookup, coding, programming, full diagnostics, and also that really important technical repair and documentation that you will need. Another great feature within BMW AOS portal is the fact that everything is under one subscription. Use one subscription cost. Once you purchased, you can then simply use every application that you can see within the portal. This particular software registration can also be accessed throughout the whole of Europe, North America and Canada. Another option would be Pass-thru. Pass-thru basically is that stepping stone that you need going from an aftermarket tool up to a dealer diagnostic solution. It kind of bridges that gap somewhere in the middle. So although you still have to go through all the same registration process, what you're really lacking is that full functionality of all of the software functions. However, it can be a great option if you're starting and you're limited on a budget, but please bear in mind that we wouldn't advise Pass-thru for programming, mainly due to the fact that the dealer diagnostic tool offers significant time reduction periods. Sometimes this can be up to 70%. The BMW ICOM and the ISTA system has been around for quite a while now. Fairly recently, BMW have just stopped supporting the old generation tools. The old generation tools are really quite easily distinguishable. So these are generally a different colour. These are generally the orange and black. Yeah, if you have the new silver with the black ends, that is a current next generation product. Okay, so don't get confused. Don't think I've got the silver and black and this is an old tool now being phased out. This is the current model. They're referring to the old ISTA system, not ISTA Next. So with that context, we now know obviously the new generation tool. The new generation tool covers BMWs, Minis, Rolls-Royces, so we'll cover all of your E series, your F, your G, all your new I vehicles. It'll cover the latest generation of Mini, Ones, Clubmans, etc. The system will cover from 2000 right up to current date where we are now. If you're working on the older E series generation, you'll definitely need the ICOM Next A and the ICOM Next B. The ICOM Next B basically is the most interface. It's a small adapter that plugs directly between the vehicle in a specific most connection on the vehicle and then via the ICOM then to do all of those infotainment and entertainment modules on the vehicle. For those vehicles pre-2001 where the OBD diagnostic socket was not standardized, you will need the ICOM Next C. The ICOM Next C is a 20-pin round connector, normally found in the engine compartment under the bonnet of the vehicle. So those are the three main essential components for BMW cars. If you're a BMW motorcycle user, or BMW motorcycle is the way you want to go for your diagnostics, you may need the additional extra cables of the ICOM Next D, E, as these are additional adapters that fit specifically to the Motorrad generation of BMW motorbikes. If you really want to impress your customers out there in the workshop and you pride yourselves on being a BMW specialist, then really the BMW key reader is definitely the right tool to go. With this particular device, simply reads the key and displays it in nice colourful graphics, so red, amber and green depending on the status of the service items required. But most importantly, it also shows you the remaining mileage as well as the distance left, making you look exactly the same as the dealer would do. With that essential equipment now listed, what's that going to give you access to? That's going to give you full diagnostic, which is guided diagnostic from fault through to fix. It's going to allow you to look at those wiring diagrams, those component locations. It's even going to give you some labour times. It will even display what BMW classes call Puma measures. Now Puma measures, if you've not heard of those, they're very similar to technical service bulletins. So known fixes and known verifications. All of this included on top of your coding, your programming, your software updating, which is critical. However, as I said before, they can be time critical as BMW like to update the entire car. So please make sure you see in the list of updates and allow time. So BMW have recently now trying to adopt the SERMI approval scheme. SERMI approval basically is like the security restricted access. This is really only found when it comes to the technical data side. So some of the technical documents will be restricted for access unless you've got a security accreditation. Easily done as part of your registration within the BMW portal. The BMW iCom Next also works with all of the latest protocols that are on the BMW vehicles, including the latest i range of cars. This includes obviously DOIP and any CAN FD that will be on there. So why do you need the dealer diagnostic system? Simply put, some of those really easy, simple tasks. Let's take the service history as an example. As we know in BMW modern vehicles now, they have an iDrive system. This displays all the service history that it's ever had throughout the lifetime of the vehicle. Now, if the vehicle's a relatively new car, then of course that may have a teleservices contract on the car. So when the service history is uploaded into the BMW portal, this will naturally automatically be sent to the vehicle over the air. However, once these subscription contracts have run out and customers don't extend them, then you'll need some other method of getting that service history into the vehicle. This is where the diagnostic interface comes in. Simple connection into the car and a service and diagnostic process will allow you to put that information straight back into the vehicle. And there will be a small cost attached to this, but that's really quite insignificant when you've got the proof to the owner that A, you've performed the service, and B, they know when their next service is. This is really important as it's vital and will keep these customers coming back to you. You can also as well prepay for additional services and actually get that name changed in the iDrive to your specific workshop. So the BMW software, that's quite heavy on the software requirements from a laptop. So really BMW want to see a minimum of 150 gigabytes of free hard drive space. This is quite a lot of hard drive space as most PCs generally only have 256 gig. So realistically, we'd be looking at recommending a 1 terabyte solution. This gives you then that flexibility also to maintain the laptop longevity. Again, as we know, most modern PCs now, with Windows 11 just around the corner, you need the option to upgrade to Windows 11, but also you need that really important hard drive size. You'll need that minimum of 4 gig of RAM. However, we would recommend 8 gig, and potentially, if you can really stretch to it, 16 gig will keep that machine running well into the next 3 or 4 years. BMW would also recommend a dual LAN solution. This gives you the ability to not only keep your laptop hardwired, but also they like the facility as well to connect your iCom directly on an Ethernet cable. Some customers' switches can be quite a distance away from your workshop bay. So what we would recommend is a USB to LAN converter. That simply then gives you that option of the dual LAN option. As much as you try to minimize your risk of damage and oil and spillage, those accidents may still happen. This is why we would recommend a fully or even semi-rugged diagnostic laptop computer. This is standard in all of our bundles. The reason we offer a semi-rugged and fully rugged laptop in our bundles is to minimize you having to change that really expensive, really important piece of hardware, and of course, what you don't want is downtime. As the BMW diagnostic system is a laptop-based product, we would also recommend putting that on a diagnostic workstation trolley along with a battery support unit. This is just keeping your diagnostic solution in one place and making it more portable. With the BMW software, another really important thing to remember is outside of the dealer network, you are responsible for keeping the software up to date. Now, BMW releases updates fairly frequently and fairly regularly. Now, ordinarily this wouldn't be an issue. However, you have to be on the very latest version of software, otherwise the system won't operate. This is why Maverick Diagnostics give you the option of our dealer tool support. From as little as £99, you can have one of our trained technicians take care of all of your updates. With the frequency of BMW updates being 1 to 2 a month, this can be really valuable service that we offer on our dealer tool support. This means that your diagnostic system will be ready to roll straight away as soon as that vehicle lands in your workshop, so there will be no downtime wasted. If you don't have the support and you're reliant upon it yourself, and you've got a very busy workshop, or you don't use the tool very regularly, then of course these are when those little mishaps happen. What you don't want to be doing is stalling that time back to the vehicle. The turnaround time that you get the vehicle back to the customer is money in your pocket. But with the modern BMW vehicle being fully packed full of electronics, there's quite a lot of current draw on these vehicles. A battery support unit rated at 120 amp is vital for the correct operation and performing these vital programming jobs. As I mentioned before, when you're programming an entire vehicle, the last thing you need is a flat battery or an interruption in connection, because this can cost to very lengthy delays. So you're all ready to use your equipment. What you now need to be aware of are the operational and running costs. Now, the running costs can be quite easily split into a couple of different categories. One is the technical documentation side. This is available as a separate subscription from as little as €5 an hour. The diagnostics and programming subscription can be available from as little as €9 an hour. Now, here's a really good thing. There are certain applications that are free, such as the ability to upload your service history and to obtain and look up your own parts information. These are the BMW Casio application, which gives you the ability to write the service history onto the cloud, which is great because the customer needs that proof that the vehicle's been serviced, and of course the ability to look up your own parts on the vehicle. So if you're really unsure as to the exact part number, these can be filtered by the vehicle VIN number. If you have the optional key reader, you also then get the additional functionality with that free Casio application, as this gives a lot of the check control messages, the fuel level, the AdBlue level, some really useful and important information. These are quite crucial as it shows you the driver behaviour habits. If you're really unsure still whether a BMW diagnostic tool is for you, let's summarise this. If you're only seeing the odd occasional BMW, then realistically, aftermarket tool and that pass-through solution, as we mentioned earlier, may be the stepping stone through. Grow that customer base. If you're becoming a BMW specialist and you're seeing 2, 3, 4 vehicles in within a week, then it may be something to consider if they're coming in with that few jobs that you just can't finish with those aftermarket tools. If you're currently paying a lot of money on a remote service solution, then the tool is definitely right for you. This will definitely add value to your business and save you time and money.
Thinking about investing in BMW Diagnostics? Don't guess your way through it. Maverick Diagnostics has created the first ever in-depth BMW Buyer's Guide, a complete breakdown of everything you need to set up OEM tools the right way. Software, costs, legal checks and more. Real insights from 30+ years in diagnostics. It's the most detailed guide on the internet for independent garages serious about BMW Diagnostics. After all, our mission is to help you succeed in your diagnostics journey. Read the full guide now at maverickdiagnostics.com.